Hi creators, glad to have you here. We've got our blank outline and we'll start off with the focus flower. The first skill to learn is the Marquise. I'm going to use my slotted tool to roll up a quarter of a strip of light purple and then take it off the tool and let it relax into a loose coil. Glue the coil closed and then pinch opposite sides, and that is a Marquise. To make a flower petal, I'm going to smash two Marquise together and then glue them, holding them till they stick. Now I'll wrap them in a darker purple, going around twice, trim, and glue. And once you've got 6 of them, you're ready to glue down. To make a scroll, start by running your quilling needle down the length so it curves a bit. And then I'm going to do it a little harder near the end. Place the quilling needle just below the tip and push in to make that paper edge pop up. Then grab that edge with your thumb and roll down firmly. Slide the needle back up without unrolling the paper, then roll down with your thumb again. The problem I run into with this method is usually just getting the dreaded roll started. And 9 times out of 10, it's because my hands are so dry. I can't get any traction. So, my tip for you is get your fingers a little damp. Not totally soaked, but just damp. And make sure there's a bit of the paper sticking up for your thumb to take hold of. Okay, on to the swirl, which is like a multi-strand scroll. And I'm going to stack 3 strips and glue the ends together. Then use the quilling needle to prep the stack and curl the very tip. To continue the curl, I ended up doing it by hand. And then you can pull the loose ends to adjust the spacing of the swirl. And to make sure it stays that way, you glue it. It's pretty cool. Anyway, scrolls and swirls are among my favorites. They're an easy way to add some elegance and sophistication to a quilling project. Giving a slight curve to an off-white strip here and then cutting off short pieces. The next skill is a basic tight coil. Use your slotted tool to roll the strip nice and tight, and while it's still on the tool, glue it closed. To get rid of the kink in the middle, I turn my quilling needle in the center. So, you know those charts of basic quilling shapes? You won't find this next part on those charts. But I've used this shape before for tulips and leaves. What you do is you take a short strip and then rub it with your quilling needle firmly against your finger. And this gives it kind of a U shape. And then glue the very tip. And you can hold that tip shut with your fingers, or for a small one like this, it might be easier to use your tweezers. Gluing down a dark green strip for a stem and a scroll for the other end of the stem. And then adding my tiny purple petals. To fill that top center space, I'll make some more tight coils. But these will have multiple colors. The process is practically the same. The only difference is that after rolling and gluing the end of the strip, you then glue the start of the next strip right next to it. And you can do that with as many colors as you want, or whatever combination. This part is making the real deal teardrop. Very simple. Roll a strip, then let it relax into a loose coil and glue it closed. Then pinch one side, and that's your teardrop. Except it's so tiny, it just looks like an outline again, dang it. Here's what it would look like if it were bigger. So I'm wrapping it in a dark purple, but this time I'm cutting it long so it has a tail to it. And then I'll take 3 of them and glue them into this formation and put them in the corner of the S. The rest of the S will be filled with curved strips. Again, not something you'll find on a shapes chart, but very handy to have in your repertoire. I use them all the time. To make curved strips, you curve a strip. Yep, it's that easy. And it's that hard. As I go around the S, each strip will have a different length and a slightly different curvature. So I'll take it one strip at a time, curling gently with my quilling needle or maybe straightening it back out, and adjusting the length until both ends are touching the sides of the letter outline. These curved strips will be much more sturdy if I can glue it to something on 3 sides. All the colors I'm using, I've used before somewhere in the S. It helps tie things together, gives it a more cohesive look. The flourish will be the final step. These white strips are cut out of the same paper I used for the background. And since it is cardstock, it doesn't curl as easily as thinner paper. So I'm prepping it repeatedly with my quilling needle, but I'm going gentler than you might expect. That's probably good. Let's see if it will roll around my finger. Oh my gosh, my finger is not round. That was a mistake. Okay, let's smooth out the curve. And then we'll prep the end with a couple harder curls and roll it into a scroll. Adjust it a bit, and then glue it. And getting glue on this bigger scroll can be awkward. So I am going to spread out a thin layer of glue on my tray and then press the scroll onto that. Then add some glue to the vertical edge and the side where it'll touch the outline. Clean the glue blobs and do it again for the last piece. Finished. Let's look at different angles. And then let's do a final close-up. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. See you next time.